sound of Austin guitar heaven.
That might be as soulful.
So
as
great to have you, Jackie.
Good to be here. Good to be
Thanks
here.
for bringing in the heaven.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting me into Guitar Heaven.
And thanks for bringing your
my reaction.
Yeah. Drunk. That's adds a whole new dimension.
Yep, it sure does.
That's awesome.
It's I didn't get to geek out on the drum kit. I figured I'd save that for later in the episode.
We still have time.
We still have time. We have time.
Yeah. You gig with your band and you gig by yourself.
Yep.
And you always have this setup with you? Or?
I actually I'm going to start using this with the band as well, because what I can do is my drummer, I loop, so my drummer actually can follow loops, and not a lot of drummers can, but he can, and as long as he's playing while I make the loop, it's really interesting. If he's not playing while I make the loop, it's almost like the telepathic connection wasn't there it's so insane.
Is that Rodney on the drums? Or?
Yeah, Rodney.
Let's give him a shout out here.
Yes. Shout out to Rodney. Shout out to Rodney Hyder.
Rodney Hyder?
Yes, Rodney Hyder. That's it. Yes.
Rodney's awesome, by the way. If you don't know him, I mean,
he's a beast.
He's a beast, yeah.
He's a total beast. So he can follow loops, and I'm gonna start like doubling hand claps, like stuff like that. It's just nice to have more sounds.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm usually a 3-piece. So I can even put keyboard sounds on this thing, like I did for where is it? Like you know what I mean? Like
nice.
It's not like entire. It's not like entire like. You know what I mean? So basically, what I do is I sit in my house and I just like come up with arrangements.
So is this a new version of an old classic drum machine or something?
There was this thing called the Roland SPD.
Okay.
And this is the next version of that. They're actually getting ready to come out with another version after that.
Of course.
But I can't really imagine why I would need anything more than like what's gonna be. It seems like they kind of mastered it.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to add to it to make it better than this.
Probably just charge you more.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay,
Let me see if I understand your setup. So you got your loop station.
Yes.
And you're going into the loop station with both the drum machine and the guitar, right?
The drum machine and the guitar.
And then you have an AB box here for your guitar. We can go either to your amp or into the loop station.
So the guitar is split between the amp and the loop station. The drum machine is plugged into the loop station. But for some reason, I don't know why, for some reason the drum machine sounds, even if I don't have the A channel selected. I haven't figured out why.
It sounds?
It makes a sound, because like for the guitar, it's either this channel or this channel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really know how it works, but I don't question. I don't question the tech
gods.
Wait.
So your loop station goes into the PA speaker, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess no matter what it's sounding,
so,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, the AB box
doesn't mute it.
Is in front of all that.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't mute it. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
It doesn't mute it. I guess so. It's not a kill switch.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you figured out early that the drum computer just doesn't sound good through an amp.
It can't. It can't.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I figured that out by way of something else. I used to just have the guitar running into the board, and that was the whole show. I would make the beats on the guitar.
Right.
You know what I mean? The kick drum's pretty good, but for a snare, it has to be string scratches.
Yeah.
Like string scratches, I mean.
Yeah.
It's not as bright. Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
What would happen is I would loop stuff on the guitar. On the beats made on the guitar, the chords are made on the guitar, the bass line's made on the guitar, and then the leads are on the guitar. It was just like all these guitar sounds.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't very full.
Little thick in the mids.
But this one, a little thick in the mids, exactly. But this is like, I can have that, I can have a hand clap, I can have like hi-hats instead of it being.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you can do anything with that.
It's just so much better. I mean, I have to have a cup with drumsticks in it. But whatever, it's worth it.
And so even like on larger stages, you never run into sync issues?
What do you mean?
With Rodney, with your drummer?
No. I mean, the only time is when it's the sound man's fault. It's never Rodney's fault. It's never Rodney's fault. It's the sound man's fault. What he'll do is he'll screw up and mute Rodney's monitor.
Yeah, and then
he can't do the loop, and then the sound man's like, oops, and he turns it back on, and then we're off. And honestly, since I have the loop in my monitor, as soon as I detect anything, I turn it off immediately, and then I wait for Rodney to be back, and then I'll turn it back on, and it'll be fine. So the only time we've ever gotten off is when, like from the looper, is when the sound man screwed up and screwed up our monitors. So
sound guys, taking over this.
Get your monitor game up, man.
No local sound guys. They all know her.
Yeah, they all know.
Right.
All the Austin sound guys are perfect.
You got that sticker on your fridge, right?
Right.
If it sounds like shit,
we didn't do it.
It wasn't us. Exactly.
We didn't do it.
What does? Yeah, exactly. So that's the only time that really happens. But the biggest thing about the drum machine is that it opens me up for more touring. It's kind of like the money allows, when the money allows, and it's not like every song's on the drum machine because it can kind of get old.
So you didn't you've ended up here. Where did you start?
Oh man.
Take us back to like minus the gear.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I actually started off with just this DS1.
Oh yeah, so did I.
And the DS1's actually Keeley modded, so it's not a normal DS1. Okay. And this DD7. Yeah. And then I was screwing around. This is like 4 years ago. So I'm screwing around with the DD7. I'm like, what's hold? And I put it to hold, and I play and I press it and I play it and then I press it again and it starts looping. Yeah. And I was like,
sounds.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, what?
I could do this by myself.
What's going on? And then I like screwed around with it some more and I realized that it was looping. And I was like, wait a minute.
This is a whole new
concept. Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait a minute. It was just like So then I started playing like open mics. I'd been doing open mics and like blues jams.
Here?
Like here in Austin, yeah. I just picked up guitar like 2 years before. So I had been doing blues jams and open mics just to get better. Because I find that playing in front of people makes you better.
Practice.
So what is like your first instrument then? I mean, how
piano.
Do you... Piano?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got bored of the piano though.
Okay.
The piano doesn't have any pedals.
And when did you start on the piano?
Open mics are hard.
When I was 8.
8.
Yeah, that was a long journey for me on the piano. So I started doing open mics and I was just doing solo guitar, just bar chords, like, and singing my songs, right? Then I discovered this thing could loop, and I was like, all right. So then I probably did about 8 months looping with this thing.
Right.
But then I was like, man, I really want to be able to use delay though, right? It's like now I don't have a delay pedal.
Right.
And then my friend's like, why don't you just buy a looper pedal?
Yeah, they make this thing.
There's pedals for that.
And it'll loop for more than 14 seconds.
Right.
This one only does 14 seconds, so it's like. So then I bought a looper pedal, and then for years, I had this looper show that I just kept on developing and adding more stuff to. The thing about the looper pedal that I found out is that you have to have arrangements.
Okay.
You need to plan ahead.
You need to plan ahead.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because it's like
almost like a studio part.
Yeah, like you need to know when to turn it on, when to turn it off, when to switch to the beat track, when to switch to the rhythm track. If there even needs to be separate beat and rhythm tracks. Sometimes the beat and the rhythm never change, and so they don't need to be on a separate track. It's extraordinarily complicated.
And do you find it hard to kind of balance that right and left brain activity when you perform?
I did for probably a solid 10 months. I would just play gigs on the looper because I didn't have enough money to pay the band. My gigs were paying like $75 or $100, you know, like for like 2 or 3 hours. It's like I'm not bringing that. That's how bands break up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not doing that.
I did that once.
Yeah, exactly. So I started going really hard for the looper show, and about 10 months in, basically what I found out is that you have to just make all the mistakes, because if you don't make all the mistakes, you don't know how to not make mistakes.
Right, yeah.
So it was probably like close to a year that it was kind of shaky.
Have you ever had like a moment where you did something and it made this horrible sound and you couldn't turn it off, and you're like, you know, like you're talking about making mistakes.
One time.
You're like, oh no.
Usually I just stop and I'm just sitting here like,
That's what I would do.
Sometimes I have to bend down and unplug it. And what I also learned is that if the arrangement is too complicated, if it's like really hard, like you've gone through it maybe 4 or 5 times and you still don't have it, it's probably too complicated.
Yeah, right.
Like you probably should just strip it down. Like this is a solo show. You can't forget that it's a solo show. It's like this is not a band.
Well, also, I mean, it's about you and the song.
It's
and
about
you
exactly.
Don't get caught up in technical
like,
stuff. And
you're like forgetting lyrics because like. So that's also something I had to learn. And that, fortunately though, I learned all that before I got the drum machine, because I was doing beats just on the guitar, and that's what made me get the drum machine, so that I could have more sounds that were just better. Right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Just better sounds than that is not a snare. You know,
right.
Like,
that's
a snare.
Yeah.
You want to have her like take us through like her process on her own, like create something, like
sure.
out of the blue,
Let's
like
do that.
on the spot, like
Have you just show us how you
something?
Build
yeah,
an
right.
arrangement?
I'm gonna be an audience member.
Cool. Okay, so Jesse over here would like
yes.
I would
like an
how
instructional video on
how to build the loop.
Your workflow of creating a loop.
There's this song I play called "Don't Lie to Me." It's a reggae song. So what I do is, in order to minimize the amount of time it takes for me to build a loop, I have one hi-hat loop loaded already.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that's pre-recorded. I try to make it so that 95 to 100% of what I'm doing was done live.
On the fly.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly. And I figure I can get away with 5%. After that, it's like, at some point, it just becomes karaoke. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So anyways, what I do is I start this, and this loop was designed to where it gives me, I think, 4 beats before I have to start playing.
Okay. Good count
So. So, now usually I start singing. So here's the first verse. Yeah. So we've already started the song, right? Because my big thing is build the song while you're doing it, while you're singing it. Okay. Otherwise, you're just going to spend 4 minutes building the song and then you start the song.
Right, that's true.
So we're still in the first one.
And your set would be 2 hours long.
Yep, exactly. And you play like 5 songs.
Yeah.
So here's the chorus. Another loop. I have a bass pedal on now. Now I have to hold down the stop button to go to the other track. Grab this drumstick, now I do the beat. Second verse. My heart beats to the rhythm of mercy. I messed up. Oh, how I love to believe that he loves me. I need to be careful. I need to protect myself. There you go. Surround me with wisdom of the divine truth. Now we're in the chorus again. Now I have this. There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end. You can solo over that.
There you go. That's how I do it.
Nice.
So what I
Very
try
nice,
to
yeah.
do with my arrangements is I either try to build them literally as I'm singing, or sometimes I have to do the beat first. Takes about 15-20 seconds
Okay.
maximum. If it takes more than 20 seconds, I need to consider another arrangement.
So that's one of your own songs. Did you just record it the way you always do? Or was it
That's
just
how I
a
always-
little bit different?
It's
Like what you played, was that the same thing that you would play tomorrow? on
Yeah.
the show? Okay.
yeah, totally.
You
And
need to plan it like that. I mean,
you have to with
right.
Looper, yeah. Or
Seems like
sometimes
if you added one little beat, you're going to be off. Or
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
little
and then you
lick.
gotta. The biggest thing is like I have to know when to switch to the other track.
That's what I was watching.
Hold on.
Stop
So
button.
this looper can store how many different loops?
It can store loops.
But
I
I
don't-
mean, didn't you switch between 2 different recorded loops?
So what happened is I recorded the chords and the bass line
Yeah.
on one track, and then I held down the stop button.
Okay.
Right.
So
And
okay, my
switched to
question is, how many
another track.
tracks do you have?
2.
2 tracks.
Okay.
But I kind of hack it a little bit because also what you can do is you can hold down the record button. If you hold it down, it undoes what
It
you just
undoes.
did.
So you can go back
So-
one step.
So
And
sometimes
does the manual explain that?
yes, it actually does.
I mean,
Actually, what's
seriously,
crazy, if I were to
what-
like take it off of this board,
Mhm.
it has the whole guide. It's like
Okay,
hold down, play,
okay.
undo. It's like all
You
of the
need to get one of
secrets.
these.
It's a pain in the butt because also like what I got to do is I record it and then I immediately got to switch over or
Uh-huh.
else
Yeah, I was watching your feet.
yeah.
It's like a tap dance.
So here's
It's
a
crazy.
technical question. So you have those 2 tracks.
Yep.
So how does it show you which track you're on?
The light. So then
One.
there's.
Oh,
there's
so you
track
need to
1.
hold it down for 3 seconds?
Mhm.
Oh,
You
wow.
can get a foot switch if you want, but
Uh-huh.
I've just rehearsed it to where
Wow.
it's timed.
Well, so you gotta
I
plan
don't
all
want
that
another pedal.
too. Like, I need 3 seconds to switch
That's
it.
cool.
Sometimes
Okay.
I'll do a song and I'll have the beat on one track and the chords on another track.
Mhm.
Like here's this one,
Mhm.
Destruct, so it'll be like bass. Oh man. Yeah. Right. Then I'll have to switch over to the other track, right? Yeah. Not playing the drums very well. I'll have to undo it before the bridge is.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
pretty complex.
I messed up.
Yeah, right.
I messed up the beat. I messed up the beat because I'm like not focusing.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
Have you considered upgrading to the RC50, like the bigger loop station with the
I have,
but you've got this down.
No, but the RC50 basically has 3 independent
you can
tracks.
switch them.
And you
Yes.
can switch them immediately. It has a MIDI output to sync it with your drum computer.
Absolutely. I've considered that,
Yeah.
but then I would have to get like a 36-inch pedal board, and it would be extremely hard to play in treble.
So when you sit down to write a song, is all this involved?
Sometimes. Sometimes I was like screwing around one night, and I have the song saved as patches. So the patch
I saw that.
is the song name. So I have this one. So I was just screwing around one night, and I was just like, then I was like, and I like started like, yeah. And I was just like screwing around. I wrote a whole other song.
I bet.
I wrote a whole other song just because I was like, this is actually a song in B minor, but I wrote like a whole other song in like the relative major key because I like it's like. Yeah. And I was like, cool. And I like sat around, I was like, bass line maybe? It's like, you know what I mean? Just like screwed around for like 2 hours, wrote a melody, and it's all because I was just like staring at it and I was just like hitting it. I looked like a monkey, you know what I mean? I was like an ape. I was like, I'm serious. That's exactly what it looked like. It was like from the outside, it looked like total nonsense.
It works.
And then eventually, I added that clap and it just kind of came out. So it does happen. And then also sometimes I just want to like jam with a band, and I don't have the band. It's 2 in the morning.
You know, we've talked about all the technical stuff here.
Yeah,
let's talk about the musical content of what you're doing. I mean,
absolutely.
You're using, you know, a lot of non-standard or a little jazz flavored or, you know, upper harmonic kind of harmonies and stuff. And so, you know, that strikes me when I hear what you're doing. I mean, the technical stuff, that's all cool and everything.
Yeah.
But
it is really about the song at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
It really, really
no
is.
matter if you play with a band or
exactly.
So who are you listening for? Where do you draw inspiration musically?
Oh man, Stevie Wonder, dude.
Yeah.
It's like an endless encyclopedia of ideas.
Right on,
you know what I'm saying? Just endless, like forever. You can listen to that guy. I listen to the same songs, like, cause I only have so many of his albums, and I've listened to all of them. And every time I listen to the song, it gives me something different. Yeah. It's really crazy. And I also really like transcribing the chords to the guitar because he uses really complicated piano chords, and piano chords are really hard to translate to the guitar. So I like the challenge. Sometimes I'm just like, nope, can't do it. Like.
wanted to say that we're gonna have a little toast on our. We have a show sponsor, and
this is America.
And right.
Yeah,
and Texas,
some great distilleries here in town. So we handpicked a distillery with the help of Bee Wine Day, and
Lasan! I love Lasan! Shout out to Lasan!
Oh, she's world famous.
So she recommended this.
I played her.
Kruger single malt. It's for Spirits of Texas, local distillery. Give them a shout out.
Of course, local.
And they left us a bottle here to try. Here's what Lasan says: Spirit of Texas single malt is a bold yet elegant sip of sophistication.
Yes.
That goes down easy.
I need that in my life.
You know
Are you ready to try how easy it goes?
Yes. I'm just saying, if Lasan says it's good, it's good. That's all I'm saying.
So great to have you on the show.
For sure. Let's do it. Start my day off right.
What time is it anyway?
It doesn't matter. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Time doesn't exist in the studio. There's no time. There's no clocks in the studio.
Oops, that's a little much, but
it's all right. It's all right.
Okay, Jesse.
Danke.
Cool.
So, to you, Jackie Venson, on your touring in 2018.
Thank you.
And all the best.
To Ulrich and Jesse in Guitar Heaven.
And to Austin Guitar Heaven.
Austin Guitar
Heaven. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Peace.
Cheers.
Wow. That goes down really easy.
Nice.
She's right. Easy. She's right.
Good job, Lasan.
Good job.